Oh, a few more people jumping on. Y'all just don't know. Y'all in for a treat today. Y'all do not know. Alrighty. Let's see some cameras, man. Like I wanna talk to some people where I can see some mouths move and see some faces.
What's up?
Here he is, the man of the hour. What's up, Knolly?
Oh man, I'm doing well. How are you, brother?
I'm
Good to
doing
see you.
good, man. Doing really good. Righty. What's up, Dan? Kathleen. All right. Let's see some more non-shy real estate agents. What's up, Rachel? Craig,
Hey,
Ms. Dixon. What's up? All right. So I'm just sending some text messages out to everybody, just letting them know. But for those that if it might be your first time here, we do these once a month, every second Friday, where we're having a guest and we're actually just masterminding about some things that we've been able to do to grow our business and to take our business to the next level in of itself. And usually we have a special guest to come on. And before I get into who that is, and I'm telling y'all been in the treat. I heard this guy speak a few times, man. It's gonna be dynamic. But let's get some good news. I mean, I know we got some really rock star real estate agents out here. Who wants to kind of start off and kind of share some good news that they've been having, either real estate related or personal? Why to jump on? What's up, John? What's up, Dave?
well, something personal that I'm excited about is that I taught a class at a conference, at a church conference, and it went really well. I just taught about how to get your power back, and it went over really well.
Love it. That is good news. Inspiring people at church. I love it.
Amen. That's what's up.
Love that. What's up, Jennifer?
Hey, good morning. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good, good. Who else want to share some good news? Group.
Well, I had a closing last week, so that was good news.
Always good to have a
I
closing.
hope that's not the final one for the year. I'm dying to have just one more.
Well, we know it. We know it's not going to be the final one. In fact, we wanted to be a few more, right?
If I just get one more, I'll be happy.
Love
And
it.
then I can relax, but it's okay.
I'm still working on a couple deals myself, James. One fell through last week once again, but I'm still at it. Last night though, I stayed up all day yesterday and got certified for express offers.
There you
Oh,
go.
good.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, that's going to be the last one that's going to fall through, buddy. Like the next one's going to go ahead and hit. So
Absolutely.
love it. Anybody else want to share some good news with the group? What's up, Dan? So you got your shirt on. All right. So I'll actually share some good news. So my wife has been feeling bad for the last few days, and today is her first day of getting out of the bed. I've actually been sleeping and on the main floor, not upstairs in the bedroom, just because I don't want to catch what she got. She doesn't have COVID, which is great, but her fever went away, and therefore I will, hopefully get a good night's sleep tomorrow or tonight. that is my good news for today. I don't have to sleep on the couch, and I didn't even do anything wrong to have to sleep on the couch, but I've been sleeping on the couch. All right, here. All right. So, Brian.
What's up, James?
Going, man. Share some
I
good
got
news
some-
with the group, man.
I got some good news. All right. So I got a closing that was supposed to close yesterday, but we're going to record tomorrow on Monday. It was a good deal. I thought $455,000, 3% commission, which was amazing. So it's a good close. I got a new listing, and that I'll be uploading today. But also we have our Wednesdays, our group, we get together every Wednesday at our association at our local board. And I had Andre drop in and do a Zoom, never did it before. And we got 3 out of 4 people that are flipping over to EXP.
Love it, man. Love it.
So I'm stoked.
Love it. Brian, Santa Claus, man, and saying you always been consistent doing the things that you need to do, and it's always paying off. I mean, so keep it up, man.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else want to share some good news with the group? Rock stars out here. What's up, John? All righty. More people trying to jump it on. All right. So a few things just to keep everybody in mind. If you're not part of Agent Builders, I mean, you definitely want to get with the person that invited you to get you plugged in with Agent Builders Facebook group. That's where we're putting all of the training and things that are going on. So for instance, the Tuesdays with Mona going over the KV core training. That's the link and everything is in there. Then you should always also be getting like email and text messages for that as well. Thursday, the production meeting with with the honey badgers, that is going out to everybody as well. And then Friday, if you haven't jumped on Fridays with funnel building with Braden, you're missing out on the big one. So we want to make sure that everybody's plugging on that for like lead generation in of itself. And then what we're doing is on Tuesdays they're doing rapid funnel training for people that want to kind of build the brokerage with inside of the brokerage as well. So those things are going out. Kathleen has the link up there for Agent Builders Facebook group, so that you can make sure that you're getting plugged into everything that our group has to offer. If you're local, events that's coming up pretty soon here in March, Brent Gold is always doing his Cabo trip. So if you have not been, I'm telling you, it's one of those life-changing events in of itself. So you want to make sure that you get registered because it's going to sell out, because it sells out every single year. But so many people. Craig went there, and me, Craig, and his wife all got together there. Our wives were not licensed real estate agents at the time, and came back, and now both of our wives are licensed real estate agents, and they're doing full-time in real estate. So I'm telling you, if you ever want to change your life, change the direction where you want to go to, you want to get plugged into those events. So the next one's coming up in March. You can look at that stuff. If anybody needs anything, we can actually put it up there as well. But other than that, let's just kind of get to it, man. So the guy that I got here today is somebody I've heard him speak on stage a few different times. And he stands out like a sore thumb. I mean, you can't miss that cowboy hat. Everywhere he goes, everything he does, he's wearing that cowboy hat. I even seen him like at the beach, and he had the cowboy hat on. So I'm telling you, not only do I like his vibe and how he kicks everything, but I mean at the same time, he's helped so many folks within business. He's written books before. You all are really in for a treat today. Knolly, man, I've been wanting you on for a minute, and I finally got you here, man. And I'm super stoked and super excited for you to be able to share with our group today. I appreciate you already.
Thank you, James. Thank you, James. I'm super excited to be here as well. You have a beautiful group, and I've liked what I've heard so far. So I appreciate the honor of being here. Thank you. Appreciate it. And us honey badgers, man, we stick together, don't we?
That's right. That's what we do. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like what we try to do is try to get people on that has had, a lot of success and
Sure.
kind of share some of the things that they was able to do in order to grow their business. And obviously, with their situation, you help other people grow their business as well. So can you kind of share about like some origins in and of
Sure.
itself, and then just kind of get into like, pulling things full forward?
Yeah. So my, I grew up, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in pretty much in Los Angeles. My mom and dad separated when I was very young. I was about 7 years old. And I grew up in a very abusive home. So even though mom was, I love mom. Okay, I love her. But back then she was an angry person, very, very angry. And so she would beat us, almost, I mean, quite often. I was going to say almost daily, but it was very often. And I remember James waking up night after, morning after morning with these painful stinging welts on my body from yet another extension cord beating from mom. And it was heartbreaking, man. I was a very sensitive kid. And it was rough. It was very rough for me. I remember, going to school, having to put on these long sleeve shirts so I could cover up the scars, not being able to tell the teachers, what was going on with me. And it was, eventually, man, I tell you, it got to the point where I broke out. I ran away from home when I was 16 years old, never finished high school. Okay. And I was pretty much homeless, man. I was homeless for 2 years. A lot of people don't know that side of my story. And I was just on the streets, going from house to house, figuring out what I was going to do, and Jesus got a hold of me when I was 18 years old. And the one thing that stuck with me from a very young age was entrepreneurship. Okay. My dad was an entrepreneur. From the time I was 12 years old, I always sold something. Okay. I was always selling. And I knew I had a knack for it. And so that's what really got me through. Even the roughest of times was, when I was 12, I was selling stuff door to door, newspapers, candy, whatever I could to turn a profit, what I'm saying, to make money. And it was kind of this escape for me. It was like, I dream of the day when I could be self-sufficient and leave so that I could be on my own and not get abused. That was my whole thing, my escape. So in many ways, the outside of Christ, sales was a salvation for me. It paved a way for me to be able to move away from the abuse. Fast forward, I started my first business when I was 23. I'm going to be 53 next year. So for 30 years, I've been an entrepreneur. I've not had a W-2. I've been a real estate agent for about 20, a broker as well. And, I've had a lot of success, but I've had a lot of failures too, a lot of failures. And so that's kind of sort of my origin, where I came from. What really gets me excited is helping other people win. Okay. Helping other people win. I was the kid that went to school. I wasn't winning. Okay. I was the kid that, dropped out of high school, got his GED, dropped out of college. Okay. Wasn't winning. All right. And so when I see people that aren't winning in life, I do what I can to help. When I was 29, my first business, I made my first $1 million. Okay. Actually made $2 million that year. And this is over 20 years ago. I've made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars since then. Okay. But nothing can replace the joy of helping someone else find their way, because we're all, just like I was that little kid that was beaten. I'm still a little kid. I'm still a little boy. You're still a little girl. You're still a little boy. And so we still have needs that run deeper than finances. When I got in the real estate game, I did 21 listings. So I'm a listing guy. Okay. I did 21 listings my first 74 days in real estate. Now, I joined, back then it was Prudential, now it's Berkshire Hathaway. And I was there for 74 days, just long enough to figure out that I could get a better deal at Remax, you know. So I went to Remax, became one of the top 10 Remax agents in the state of Texas. I was in Austin, Texas, where I was at the time. I was ranked number 7 in the city based on my production by the Austin Business Journal. There was only 6 agents in town that were doing more production than me. And there was 9,800 agents in town. So I was ranked number 7 out of almost 10,000. So I was doing a lot of production. And eventually I got into really just dedicating most of my time to paying it forward and helping others succeed. There was somebody on here just said, yeah, John was saying he saw me in Brentwood when I came to Brentwood. So yeah, I appreciate you, John, for being here as well. But I did, when I got on the seminar circuit, I toured over 100 cities. And it's just, there's no feeling like, and you're doing it too, James, you know what I'm talking about, helping somebody have a win. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. So that's a little bit about my background, my story.
Love it, man. Love it. So, all right. So, I mean, you've been able to like obviously build and have, tremendous success specifically with those listings and things of that nature. What are some of the things that you did in order to get to the point where you was able to get those listings? Because I mean, we got people on and, they're having, they might be okay with production, but, they're always looking to grow and most people want to get into that listing side.
Sure.
One, what made you go to there? I think it's obvious why you went in that direction, but what made you decide that, hey, I'm gonna be a listing person? And then what are some of the things you did in order to have the success in that area?
Yeah. So when I got into real estate, my background was in marketing. I had a record label. I was in the music industry, and the music business dried up. Like it shifted. Okay. And this is what happens also in real estate markets. Those of you, I don't know if you've read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, but that's what's happened. We're like, where's my cheese? Where my cheese was good 6 months ago. Now it's kind of like, where is it? I don't know where it is. I need another deal before the end of the year, And so what happens is our cheese gets moved. Well, that happened to me in the music business. And quite frankly, I didn't know how to find it again. And so at that point, that's when I basically, my business failed. We went from making 150,000 a month to broke. Okay. And back then, I was 26 years old when I bought my first house, 6,000 square feet. Okay. On 10 acres with, it was nice. It was really nice. And, but I didn't have wisdom with it. Okay. And scripture is very clear on this. See, if you have money, but without the wisdom, guess what? You can lose it all. You can lose it all. And, but once you have the wisdom, it doesn't matter if you lose it because you can gain it back so quickly. Well, when I lost it all, I was 33 and I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? And the guy that sold my house, I paid him $30,000, sold it for $500,000 back in 96. And I paid him $30,000. Or the commission was 30,000, I should say. And so when I looked at it, I said, maybe I can go into real estate. Like that's not bad money, especially if I don't have to have a staff of 14 people, which I had at the time, 14 people on my payroll. I said, I could work by myself. I can make this kind of money. So the first thing, I had a limiting belief that I could get into real estate, that I could be successful. Okay. So I went to Jack McDonald, the guy that sold my house. I said, man, are there any people in real estate that look like me? He said, what do you mean? I said, I got kind of a tan, I'm a little brown skin. He said, man, Knolly, let me tell you, when you go to convention, there's all kinds of people. I said, okay, well, that might work then. He said, you have the perfect personality, man. People would like you, trust you. And so he basically convinced me that I could do good in real estate. And a lot of times we get that, most of us, James, came from some other industry. Maybe you did something before. Raise your hand if you did something before real estate. Let me see. Anybody did? Or real estate's the only thing you ever done? Yeah. So, a lot of us have done something before real estate. And so that was me. And I read a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I know most of us have read that. And I didn't really know any other way to do real estate. So I just said, I'm going to try see what this guy's talking about. And he said listings in the book. So it was just that basic, man. He said listing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do listing. He said, focus on leverage. I'm gonna leverage. I mean, I didn't really have no other strategy. And the truth of the matter was, James, that nobody told me that I had to start with buyers and then graduate to listing. So I didn't know any better. Okay. Nobody told me that, man, you got to join a team first. And then when you get good enough, I didn't know any of that. So I just thought, okay, if I go out and do what this guy says, I'll succeed. And that's what happened. I did what was in the book and I succeeded. And for me, the listing side of it has just been, it's a godsend because listings are so leveraged. Like in my business, I'm more of an engineer whenever I test out, like on the personality profile. I'm high on the SC side of the DISC test, those of you that track with that. So I run mine like kind of like a machine. And so I have a 46-step listing system. Step 1, you generate the lead. Step 40, I think step 41 is you close the transaction. And then there's 5 steps after closing. And so I got my real estate practice eventually to the point where of the 46 steps, a lot of people don't know this, James, but in Texas, you only needed a license for 5 steps in the process. Okay. So what I teach my agents is I only want you doing 2 main things. Okay. Unless you're already at the point where you have a pipeline where you have business coming in consistently. I only want you doing 2 things. Number 1, I want you to be generating leads and I want you to be going on appointments. Okay. Those are the 2 things that are within, like, those are the 2 things that you should be doing. And obviously negotiating deals. Okay. Those are really 3 things, but negotiating, you got to have something to negotiate. So the first 2 help you get to the 3rd one, right? And you actually can run a thriving practice not doing the majority of the work. I mean, on any listing that I took, I spent and I still do, try to spend a maximum of 3 hours of my time. So the listing appointment might take an hour and a half. I only want to spend another 90 minutes on the life of the listing. Okay. And then I leverage everything else. Listings is a highly leverageable side of the real estate business. So because what I did was I did volume. You know, I hired a coach when I was 8 months in the business. And I'm just like everybody else. I couldn't afford a coach, didn't want to hire a coach, did not want to pay $1,000 a month. But I was 8 months in the business and I hired a coach because that's what I knew I needed to do. So I did. You know, thank God for Visa and MasterCard because they helped me out for that. And I hired a coach. And the first thing my coach did was help me get from a mindset of doing 40 deals a year, which was my original goal was like 20 deals. And then I was like, I'm going to impress my coach by telling her that I'm going to do 40 because she's going to be real impressed. And what she told me, James, she said, why wouldn't you do 100? Now I'm 8 months in the business. You know, I'm ready to hang up the phone and cancel my coaching contract. You know, I thought that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. I said, that just sounds dumb. I didn't tell her that, but to me, it was just stupid. And I said, no, I don't want to work that hard. She said, Knolly, let me tell you something. If you'll commit to do 100 deals a year, you'll work half as much as if you did 40 deals. Okay. It didn't make any sense to me. It was totally counterintuitive, but she was the coach. Okay. I'm the student. So I said, okay, well, if that's what she says, I'll just set my sights on that. And what happens is when you get out of the idea, I heard somebody earlier say, if I could just get one more deal, I'd be happy. You know, that when you get, and that's not, hey, I'd be happy with one more deal. I want one more deal, right? You know, how many more do you want? Just one more, you know, no problem with that. But when you move to a different mindset where you say, you know what, I'm going to do 10 deals a month. Well, I did that for 10 years in a row. And when you're in that mindset, everything changes. In other words, the way you think, it rewires your brain. Okay. Because the mindset or the strategy, the whiteboard or the plan that you have to get to 10 deals a year is a completely different plan to get to 100 deals a year. I guarantee you the plan's going to be so different. And I had a teacher one time, he would tell me, James, he said, man, shoot for the stars because at least you'll hit the treetops. He said, if you shoot for the treetops, man, you might not even hit one of the branches. you know? So I set my sights really high. By my second year, I did over 80 deals. And then I never had a year after that where I did less than 100 deals. When I got into full-time coaching and training that last year in production, I don't consider myself in production anymore. I have a team that does that, but I did 153 deals as a solo agent with my team, by the way. And I was working just a handful of hours a week, just a handful. Okay. So all of this, you know, this is all stuff that I teach, but no matter what your level is, okay, because I know some of you are like, man, ain't no way I'm ever going to do that. And that's okay, because your goal is your goal. Okay. I'm not going to be, ain't going to be hating on your goal. Your goal is your goal, your strategy, your life, you do you. And so, so that's it's really a mindset thing at the end of the day. How did I get in Jumpstart? I just believed I could, and I did it, you know, and I did the things that were necessary. For example, I lead generated every single day for 2 hours. Okay. Every single day. And that's the only way that you're going to build a pipeline. See, what most people do, James, is they lead generate, they get a couple of deals, they're working with somebody to stop lead generating. Then they're working the 2 or 3 deals they got, boom, 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 working these deals, don't have time to lead generate. Okay, so now their well dries up. They look around, there's no deals. Oh, wait a minute. I got to lead generate again. Then they go back to lead generating. That's called feast or famine. Okay, that's feast or famine. What I did throughout my career and still do to this day is I never take my foot off the lead generation pedal. Okay, write it down. Never take your foot off the lead generation pedal. Never. So if my lead generation time is 9 to 11. So if I talk to a client, they say, hey, we're excited. We're closing on the house tomorrow at 10. Oh, at 10 o'clock? Yeah, we're closing tomorrow at 10. Oh, well, how'd you happen to pick that time? Oh, well, we called the escrow officer and you know, that was the time they had available. Well, you know what? I'm super excited that we're closing tomorrow at 10, and I'm high-fiving you all the way. Let's review the settlement statement because I won't be there. Oh, you're not going to be at the closing? No. I've got an appointment tomorrow at 10, you know, or Friday at 10, I got an appointment. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it. Now, if it's at 1, I'm there. At 10 o'clock, I can't do it. You know, so I've always protected my lead generation time. I don't care if you wanted to list your home with me and sit down. Knolly, I'm ready to list right now. I got my pen in hand. Come over and list my house. Oh, you want to meet at 9:30? I wish I could do it at 9, but I got an appointment at that time. I could do it at noon, or would 2 o'clock be better? Okay. So I never, ever, ever desecrated my lead generation time. Okay. That's number one. 2 hours a day, every single day. You go into your lead generation bunker, and guess what? You can't emerge. You can go take a bio break, all right? And go get everything you need, your snacks, your coffee, your water, whatever you got, you take it into your lead generation bunker, and you don't leave the lead generation bunker until you've done your 2 hours, you know? And so that's something that's a strategy. There's a lot of them, a lot of strategies, but that's a principle that that will keep you out of feast or famine for sure. I didn't want to go on a tirade there, James. I'm gonna let you interject more.
I love it.
Hey, we're matching today, though. You saw that, huh?
Yeah,
What's
I
up?
see. I was noticing
What's
that.
up?
Hey,
Yeah.
I gotta go.
I got the beads popping too.
Oh, I didn't notice the bees. Okay, all right. Great minds think alike.
I know
Love
what's
it.
up. Yeah. I know how to show up.
There you go. But anybody got questions? I mean, just go ahead and you can ask him, or you can put it in the chat. We do have one question, and they was asking, could you share what a successful team consists of?
Well, it depends on where you are in you know, production wise. Okay, so if I would say, you know, like if you are if you're not doing more than say 15 deals a year, something like that, then you want to still stay as a solo agent. You don't necessarily need to build a team, except that I don't ever want you doing anything that's non-income producing. Okay. I don't want you ever doing anything that's non-income producing. Well, what does that mean? Okay. That's any activity that is not creating fresh money for you. Okay. Any activity that's not creating a fresh supply of money for you is a non-income producing activity. Okay. So, which is really the majority of things that you're doing every day, probably 90%. So So for one, you should never do anything that's transactional. Okay, let me say it again. You should never do anything that's transactional. See, what people don't realize, James, is that, and who asked the question? Let me look here and see. That's a great question by the two. Ajokita, am I saying that right? I know I'm not saying
He's
it
close
right.
enough. It's Al Jaquita.
Al Jaquita. Okay. Hey, I had, my best friend growing up, his name was Jaquita. So everybody thought we was girls because they would read the list off. They say Knolly, present, Jaquita. They say, oh, I thought some girl. Anyway, but that's just another story. But that's a great question. And from a team standpoint, Al Jaquita, where are you at right now? Tell me about your business.
Oh goodness. So
Hot seat. Yay.
I hate the hot seat. I am deathly scared of talking in front of people. So
no, I'm non-intimidating. I only weigh like 140 pounds, so I'm not too
there's
intimidating.
all these other eyes on here looking, not necessarily just talking to you. But so I don't produce much.
Okay.
I've been an agent 15 months or so, and I've sold 8 houses.
Okay.
So,
okay. Hey, 8 houses. What's up? That's all right. That's good. A lot of people would love to be in that position. All right. Okay. All right. So okay. So here's the thing, Ajokita, 15 months in the business. So you really want to get to a place where you're not doing anything transactional. What does that mean? Contract to close, paperwork, even if you're good at it. Okay. Do you happen to know what your disc profile is by any chance? Or do you know what I'm talking about? Does that ring your personality profile? You do?
yes, I'm an I.
A high I? Okay. Yeah, you don't want to do so a high I, if that's your profile, you want to be around people. Okay. You need to be schmoozing. Let me give you an example. There was a guy, there's a book called The Millionaire Master Plan. It's a great book, by the way. Roger Hamilton wrote it. And there was a guy in the book. What Roger Hamilton teaches, Ajokita, is that you should focus on your genius to the exclusion of all other things. Okay. In other words, you have a genius. A high I has a specific genius. And there was a guy that owned a restaurant. He was a high I. Now, what he was trying to do was he was taking care of the bookkeeping. He was doing the back end. He was cooking the food. But what he really liked to do and what he was really good at was schmoozing with the customers. Okay. He had an Italian restaurant. And he would just relish the time when he can just get out of that kitchen and go just talk to his people. And then he had to run back there and do what he didn't like doing and he kind of sucked at. So what Roger coached him on was, hey, man, don't ever go back in the kitchen again. Don't ever do another bookkeeping exercise, ever. Okay. And every single night when you open your restaurant, the only thing that you're permitted to do is talk to the customers. Walk out, smooth them, high five them, talk to their kids, find out. That's all you get to do. You're the owner, but that's all I want you doing. Okay. So he went, Ajokita, with that strategy. And I think his business did 6X or 7X his business within a year because he was now in his zone of genius. Okay. People loved coming in. They had to expand because they loved seeing him. He was the vibrant, the radiant character of the place. And then he hired people that could cook good food and do the books and so on like that. So what I want you to listen to me real clear on this. Transactional, you don't want to do it. Well, now it only takes a few minutes. Yeah, I get that it takes a few minutes. But the reality is it's mind share. Okay, you only have so much. And if you're thinking about, oh, did I turn in this document? Did I upload this? Did I send in that form? Did we sign off? No. See, that's taking up your brain. And here's what I know happens. See, your mind doesn't care. When you have both a subconscious and a conscious mind. Let's get into this for a minute. Now, think about this for a minute. 88% of the activities that happen within you every single day are autonomic. Okay, they're autonomic. What does that mean? That means you have no control over them. All right. The breath you just took. All right. The fact that all the blood going through your veins, your heartbeat, the kidney function, what your cells are doing, you have no, that's autonomic. That happens by itself. Okay. 88% of the things that happen within your body every single day, you have zero control over. They just happen. You don't need to manage that. Now, 12% of the things that happen are conscious. So 88% of things are subconscious. All right. So what happens though is that when you're focusing on stuff that you shouldn't be focusing on, right? It takes the same amount of brain energy to solve a $10,000 a month problem as it does to solve a $100 problem that's a one-time problem. Okay. So anytime that you're taking precious resources and you're allocating them into your practice, what you're doing is you're taking resources away from income producing activities. And that's the reason why, frankly, a lot of people just don't grow. They're working on $5 problems instead of allowing their brain to work on the $1 million problem that can solve all the other problems. See, so this is now going back to this team thing. You don't need to build a team until now. You should have people in your back pocket, right? Handyman, a good title company, people that you respect, a lawyer, people that you can reach out to or refer your clients to. But in terms of your actual team, it's just going to be you and a transaction coordinator. Okay, that you don't even hire on your team. You're just paying them per transaction. You pay per deal. Okay. Now, once you get to a certain level, you'll have a transaction coordinator on staff. All right. That's an in-house person to take care of all your contract to close stuff. And then you'll eventually have someone to take care of all the front end stuff. The bigger you become, the less you have to work because you start delegating all that stuff out. So building your team, it always starts with an admin. That's your number one hire. And if you have space in between transactions, then you can't afford to have somebody on staff. It's better, unless you get a VA part-time, you could do something like that, but it might be better to just pay somebody transactionally per deal. Hope that was that helpful?
Yes, it's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. If you really want to know how to build a team to the nth degree, it's all right here, Success with Listings. We actually, if you want the free download, because a lot of people don't like paying for stuff. I know I don't. I'll hook James up with the PDF. So those of you that's like, man, I can't afford to buy a book. The book is $20. But if you don't want to buy it, if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free, or I'll send James a copy. What I don't like about the PDF is that this sucker is 430 pages. And so it's just a lot of PDFing, when you can have it. This is like a resource manual, but this also shows you how to build a team if you choose to do that in the future. People all used to ask me all the time, man, how'd you do 1,000 deals your first 10 years in real estate? And I said, well, and they'd always want to pick my brain. So I just picked it myself. Took me 430 pages. This is not a moneymaker for me. And so I'll let you have it for free if you want it, or you can buy it on Amazon. Either way.
Love it, man. Love it. Anybody else, got a question for Knolly as well? And I'm just kind of chiming in on what you was talking about before about those
Sure.
2 hours, man.
Absolutely.
Like that in and of itself is a game changer. What I always do, I always use the example of like the water hose. Like when you turn the spigot on from the hose, you don't immediately start to get water coming in because it has to travel through. But once it travels through, it'll continue to come through. But then when you turn it off, the reverse will happen. You don't immediately stop getting water come out. But believe me, it's gonna eventually stop. And that's what a lot of people do. Generation, if you're not consistent with it, you're gonna have those peaks and valleys, that roller coaster. I call it steak and lobster 1 month, ramen noodles the next. So
that's what's up. Yeah. And it's so true what you're saying, James, because when you turn off the lead generation spigot, it takes 90 days to ramp that back up. Okay. And so you're actually losing a lot of traction when you don't have it ramped up. I feel like I could actually let me share with you guys something I think will be helpful. And I do share it a lot in the book. In the chat, I actually don't go there now because we don't want you to be getting distracted. We're all like squirrels, like, oh, I'm going to go over here. But if you go to my website, I just remembered my team put this book, If you go to the books tab, you can actually download this book for free. Or we email you the PDF of it. So anyway, so that solves the problem of you getting the book. The other thing I want to talk about is the lead sources. So how do you get leads? Well, it turns out what I did was I reverse engineered where all the leads that I got in the business came from. And even though I have another book called Triple My Listings, and I wrote this for my revenue share group, because whenever they would get in their lead generation bunker, they'd be like, okay, I'm in my bunker now. What do I do? Who do I call? What do I say? What's the script? What do I, so they were actually doing the exercise from 9 to 11, but they were stuck. And so I wrote this book. I was like, crap. So this 27 marketing ideas for free seller leads. You don't have to pay for these free seller leads. And this is just something that will educate you on how to get these leads, but I'm going to even simplify it. Okay. To simplify it, what I realized that all the leads that I was getting, and there was say, you don't have to use 27 strategies, by the way. You pick 2 or 3 that you like and you roll with those. I had probably about 12 different faucets that were, as James put it, that were dripping leads to me. But when I deduced it all down, it was just 3 buckets. We're going to continue with the water theme here, by the way. There's 3 buckets. Number 1 is your sphere of influence. That's your first bucket. It's a big bucket. Number 2 is your farm, your geographical farm that you focus on. And it's very important that you work a farm. In the book, I actually teach you how to farm for free, because you don't have to spend money on a farm. Even if you sent 1,000 postcards a month, you can do that for free. I show you how to do it with sponsors. And then the third bucket is your niche or niche, depending on where you are. I don't know where you guys are, but in Texas, we do niche, but we do everything backward in Texas too. But so you have your SOI, your sphere of influence, your farm, and your niche. And what a lot of people didn't realize is that they would look at all these listings that I had. One week we took 21 listings, our team did. And this was not a big team. I've never run a big team. It was just me as the agent, and I always had admin people to do all the work, okay, that needed to get done. And so, but the point is, all that just going to come from those 3 buckets, and from those 3 buckets, it's going to spider out into different strategies and different, things. But the good news is, generating listing leads is not as hard as what people think. Okay. Are there any questions? I saw a couple of things pop up.
Yeah,
here.
I got, regarding the disc profile, how did you gain success being a high
Yeah.
and north?
That's a great question. That's a great question, John. See, here's a person that knows better. So truthfully speaking, those of us that came from Keller Williams, that if you have a high SC, you're not supposed to be successful in real estate. You could be successful as a lead buyer specialist or as an MCA, something like that, or a market center administrator, or an admin person. I actually meet the profile of an admin is what I am. Okay. So like anytime anyway, that's another story. But yeah, how could I succeed without the D? I have almost no D whatsoever. The way I succeed, nobody succeeds alone. Nobody succeeds alone. And we succeed in a number of ways. For a SC, when you're high on the SC side, you're into analytics, facts, information, spreadsheets. Okay. So I skilled up. Okay. I skilled up. In other words, I knew all the information. So if I went on a listing appointment, I just knew more than you did. Right. So when I was in front of the client just thought I was very smart. It wasn't that. It was just that because of my analytical profile, I just had to know everything before I felt confident in even doing my job. That's the reason why you call it analysis paralysis. I got my license in June, and I was scared to death to practice real estate. I didn't even do my first deal till December. I got my license, didn't place it with a brokerage until December. What was I doing all that time? Skilling up, learning, skills. See, in this new market that we're going into, the skillionaires are going to become the millionaires. The skillionaires are going to become the millionaires. And if you, and as a SC, one of what you have to understand is every single one of us has a superpower. Okay. You have a superpower. And if I need somebody, if I'm calling on a superhero and I need somebody to go in stealthily on a mission and not be noticed, okay, I am not going to send the Incredible Hulk. Because all he knows how to do is smash stuff. All right. Now, if I need something smashed, I'm sending the Hulk in. Okay. So every single one of us has a superpower. All right. And we also have a whole other thing that's kryptonite for us. Right. And so for me, I know what I suck at. I'm not a D. So what I did was I took a natural handicap, which is, so there's no reason why I should be successful. And this is the reason why I teach classes. I tell the attendees, I say, you know, most of you in this room have a much higher probability for success than I'll ever have in real estate. But it never stopped me from succeeding. Okay, my own handicap. And that's why John is like, man, how in the world could you succeed as an ISE? Well, I knew what my handicap was, and I hired from my deficiency. Okay, so when I hired my assistant, she was high on the D, so she was a CD. All right, you got to have some C in that hire. You know, if you get a CS, if you're a D, which most real estate agents are high D, most people in sales are high D. So what I would do as a SC, I'm into facts and information. So when I did my listing presentation, I would actually do like a mini seminar. Okay, it wasn't very long, it was 20, 30 minutes, but I would do a seminar for the client where I had my graphs, my whiteboard, you know, my spreadsheet, everything was right there. And I would just be showing them, okay, here's this, that, boom, boom, boom. They was like, man, this guy seems like he knows what he's talking about. I think we're going to list with him. Okay. Now a D, all right, would have gone in and said, hey, look, I got this. Are you ready to sell your house today? Yeah, we're ready. Would you like me to handle all the details? Yeah, we'd like you to handle. All right. Well, all we got to do is just look at the price. Once we get the price right, let's sign the paperwork. Right. So they could have saved a lot of time, but I didn't have that. So I just worked within my handicap. I'm not going to try to be a D. Right. That's the reason why I never made a cold call. Did over 1,000 deals, never made a cold call. Okay. Now there's people on my team that I teach and I show them cold calling is for you because that's within your profile. That's a really good point, John, because the last thing I'm going to say on it is you want to lead generate. You got to write this down. You have to lead generate based on your personality profile. You have to lead generate based on your personality profile. Okay. That's the reason why I give you 27 ideas, because when you go through here, you're like, I ain't never doing that. Oh, I like this idea. That idea sucks. I hate it. Okay. Whereas somebody else, the idea that sucks to you, somebody else is going to love it. Okay. So I surround myself with D's and I work within my limitations. All right. But the truth is, I'll never have the ability to sell the way most of you sell, but it ain't stopping me. You know, I'm not going to let my handicap stop me. I mean, there's people with no arms and legs and they're speaking on stages. They're golfing, swimming, hiking. They don't let nothing stop them. Okay. So the reality is you can do whatever you choose if you understand your handicap. But on the flip side of your handicap is what? A superpower. That's right. Just dig into it. See, I never work on my weaknesses. Let me say it again. I never work on my weaknesses. If I suck at something, I suck at it. Okay. I'm just not good. But if I'm good at it, oh, it's on now. We're gonna become great at this. And everything else can go to hell in a handbasket. Why? Because I can hire for that. I don't have to do it.
Oh man, that's a nugget for somebody. So, all right, we got here. Where's your best LG place? That my home is loaded with distractions.
Yeah, you got to have your bunker. I call it a lead generation bunker. And and distractions are like this. Here's what you got to understand. Everything in your life is what you created. I didn't freeze now. I'm just letting that sink in. See, here's a reality that I know. and we'll talk about the lead generation bunker in a minute. Here's a reality that I absolutely know. Every single thing. Now, if you can't, some people can't abide with this. They're like, no, I can't go for that. I didn't create everything. Okay, that's okay. Let's say 90% of the stuff that happens, where you live right now, your current situation, your checking account, the house you live in, the car you drive, what city you're in. See, 90% of that, or I say all of it, was based on the choices that you've made. Okay, so one choice leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. So guess what? My house is not full of distractions. So if you look at my house, I'm at home right now. You look at my house, we don't have no distractions. See, I'm in my lead generation bunker right now. You see any distractions going on? No. Why? Because here's why. What I've told my family, this is what I told my family from, I've been married 30 years. Okay, this is what I told my family from day one. Everybody in the family knew this. When Knolly is on the hunt, he's not disturbed. Okay. Now think about this for a minute. Your forefathers, your ancestors, what they have to do to eat. Same thing, what you're doing. They had to hunt. Okay. Same thing. They had to hunt. Now, do you think, just think about this for a minute. Do you think that, okay, we're about to run out of food. And how often did they hunt? Every day. They didn't have refrigerators. They didn't have grocery store. So every single day they went on the hunt. Now, think about this. They're going out on the hunt. There's 7 of them. Boy, they're tracking that gazelle. And that's their lead generation bunker is the wilderness. They got that gazelle in sight. Man, we about to eat up in here. We about to have dinner. We're going to have something for the next 3 or 4 days up in here because I got this gazelle, been tracking them for the last X number of hours, and we're locking in. Now, just imagine all of a sudden one of the kids run up. Hey, Uncle so-and-so, I got a question about my home. Now the food just escaped. We're not going to eat for 3 days. Okay. See, nobody, and I mean nobody, would disturb the hunter while he's on the hunt. And I laid that law down to my family early on. I said, when I'm in my lead generation bunker, I'm hunting. I don't want distractions. There ain't no distractions happening. Is that clear? Oh yeah, it's real clear. See, a SC can throw it down when we know. See, when you understand what you're doing, you're trying to feed your family. And when your family understands what you're doing, do y'all understand what are you picking up what I'm putting down? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? That we cannot let the gazelle get away. We gotta eat. Who wants to not eat? Raise your hand. Okay. Well, when Uncle Knolly is in his lead generation bunker, guess what you're not doing? You're not distracting him. Okay. And I've just created a lead generation bunker. And by the way, one thing that I do and I teach, it's in the book, is you have a sign. It says, do not disturb. It's like a recording, like when you go in a recording studio and nobody, hey, I got a question. How long do I stir these eggs? Man, get out of here with that. I'm trying to do something up in here. We did not disturb the artists when they were in the vocal booth putting down a hit. Okay, we didn't. And so that's just a boundary that you have to basically set. And then everybody has to be on notice. Everybody has to be on board. Here's a true story. I had a Chihuahua dog. Man, I love that dog. Had this dog for 19 years. She lived a long time, lady. And the fact of the matter is, I trained my Chihuahua dog that when Uncle Knolly's prospecting, you don't make a sound. I know you like to bark. I know you want to play. But when I'm prospecting, that's not happening. So as soon as, back then we didn't have cell phones. So as soon as I would pick up my phone, the dog would just lay down and just watch me. Now, once I put the phone down, she'd get playful. But as soon as I picked it up, not a sound, not a peep. Okay. So I trained everybody in my family. And this is very important because this is life or death we're talking about. Back in the day, it was life or death. Okay. You don't disturb the hunter. But see, nowadays we don't treat it like that, but it really is. So that's a good question. Yeah, you got to remove distractions from your life. Very important. And then you have to have discipline. This is a daily habit. Yeah, that somebody, Dan said, Dan Hillsman. That's true. Yeah. What's up, Dan? Dan in the house. Lead generate to your personality profile. See, if you don't lead generate to your personality profile, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate lead generating. And what I found out from early on was most of the books were written by high Ds. Okay. Most of the books that were out there were written by high Ds. So I was like, I ain't doing that, but how can I do a variation of it? I don't want to reinvent the wheel, but I don't want to do what they just taught me because I'm not doing that. I'm going to feel uncomfortable doing it. It's going to be awkward. Now there's some things that you gotta push through. I get that. You know, you gotta push through some things, and you're going to do some things you don't love doing. As a general rule, you really can, if you want real estate to be fun. See, here's how I think about lead generating. This is something that you guys are going to understand. Have you ever binge watched a Netflix episode or a series? So just imagine like this. Just imagine if you didn't allow yourself to binge watch. You know, I've had people that tell me, oh, I just finished 6 hours of lead generation. I just did the 2. We call it do the 2. Okay. I said, that's not doing the 2. That's 6 hours. Now, all of a sudden you're going to be burned out. I'm not teaching you to do 6 hours a day. You do 2 hours a day, but you do it every day. Okay. That's like a Netflix episode, series where you only get to watch 2 episodes. No, we're not watching 8 episodes. We're not going to bed at 3 a.m. We're watching 2 episodes, and you're going to have the discipline to not watch 3 or 4. You're just going to watch 2. Okay. Now, what's going to happen the next day? You can't wait to get back to the next episode. Okay. That's like lead generation. If you can't wait to get back to lead generating the next day, you're not doing it right. You're either not doing the 2, or you're not lead generating to your personality profile. Because if you do it to your profile, now we got all of our superpowers in play. Okay. And it's fun. You know, real estate should be fun. Let's make it fun again. Why not?
Love it. Anybody else got a question for Knolly? Oh, you got him.
And by the way, I'm waiting for this guy to come and disconnect my internet. So, you know, I told him, do not show up until, you know, after the hour. So somebody might be knocking here in a minute, but we'll see. We'll keep it. We can keep it
No
rolling
problem.
for a few minutes.
Yeah. No, we try to close it down.
Could I see the titles of both your books again, please?
Yeah. And by the way, when you go to Knolly.com, you can get
Yeah.
these. This is Triple My Listings. And this is a free book also. We ship it to you. You pay the shipping. Okay. Triple My Listings. And you can go to either triplemylistings.com or you can go to Knolly.com, KNOLLY.com. Click on the books tab, and then you can get it for free. You pay the shipping, and we print the book, send it out to you. Okay.
Thank you.
And then the other book, you go to my website, Knolly.com, go to the books tab, and click on the Success with Listings book. It's thick, it's a big boy, and we'll email you a link to the PDF of that one.
Love it.
Thank you.
Bet.
Man, this has been great. We got 2 minutes before 1. Somebody want to slide one in real quick?
Somebody's asking, oh, Natalie's asking if I have weekly coaching. That's a great question. I actually do. So I have a coaching club, and it's you know, I teach mindset. So I teach 8 pillars: mindset, activities, people, systems, tools. We teach you how to have a money mindset, because I ask people all the time, who taught you what you know about money? Now, if they're not making the kind of money you that you want to make, then you got to get a new teacher. So most of us learn from our parents. I love my dad, but he couldn't teach me about money because the man never had any. Okay. So money, and then we teach accountability training. So that whole group, if you go to knollycoaching.com, it's $97 a month, but the first month is $1. So you join for $1, try it out. You get 4 weeks of coaching with me. We do a group coaching every week, and we have a group and all that stuff. And I know James is putting it down for you guys, but since I'm answering the question, try it for $1. And if you love it, if you don't love it, just get out. Say, I don't like it, or get your 4 weeks for free, 4 weeks for $1, and then jump off. You know, it's up to you. But what I noticed,
What day is it? The coaching?
We meet on Thursdays. Yeah, we meet on Thursdays at 11 Central, noon Eastern. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it. Well, man.
Dave said he already joined. What's up, Dave? All right.
There you go. Now, like I said, when I saw you for the first time, dude, I was like, man, I got to get this guy to talk to our group. I mean, it's been so much, information and key nuggets. What was that? The new millionaire. What was it? What
No, the
was it?
skill. Now I got that from somebody.
Skillionaire.
The skillionaires are going to become the millionaires. Let me just say this, because a lot of people, when they listen to me, they're like, "Man, you say a lot of things, and I really love what you say." The reality is, I didn't invent any of this. Okay, I came in this world just like you, not knowing nothing. And so the reality is, I just learn. I read a book a week. I'm a nerd. I like to learn. I like to learn a lot of things. And really mindset. See, you can rewire your brain. And if you choose to have success, it's just a matter of rewiring your mind. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. Our brain has neuroplasticity, which means that it actually can change. And it can change fairly quickly. So that the mind that you have right now, guess what? In 6 months from now, it could be a completely different mind. And it could be the mind of a millionaire, which is what you want.
Well, we're getting a whole lot of thank you and
Thank
all of
you.
that, man, for everything. And like my wife just brought this down because I forgot it because I'm downstairs.
What's
Man,
up?
I thought did it for you, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I
man.
love it. Yours looks better than mine too. I love it.
Nah,
Man.
I don't know about that, man. I ain't gonna say that.
That's tight. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
But
Yeah.
once again, like now you send that information about the book and stuff. I'll share with the group. We once again, we appreciate it. We thank you so much for jumping on and sharing your story and sharing information with us. We do these once again every second Friday of the month, where somebody comes on and they're sharing their story and what they've been able to do to grow their business. The recording of this is going to be in our private Facebook group, which is Agent Builders. If you're not part of Agent Builders, just go ahead and reach out to the person that you connected with, and they'll get you on that as well. Then the other group, the bigger group that we're on as well, which is part of How I Know Knolly, is the Honey Badgers. The Honey Badgers is the big group where you get people all the way around. I mean, our group is big too because we get people all the way around, but this one right here is like we're connected to some really powerful folks. So if you're not part of Honey Badgers Facebook group and the group in itself, get with the person there. If you were invited here and this is your first time, what I strongly suggest to get the person who invited you and thank them, number one. And then the second part of it, just ask them, what does partnering look like? We've been partnering with some really great real estate agents and helping each other grow our business, and just changing lives in of itself. So with
Agent Builders, baby. Agent Builders in the house. Love what you're doing. And yeah, definitely. I support what you got. Appreciate you.
Love it, Knolly. Love it, man. All right.
Someone asked about where to find the disc profile results or how to get that.
There's a few different things you can do for disc profile. Tony Robbins has a real good one that he does. You can actually set it up for free. But Tony Robbins disc profile, or just disc profile, it explains the D, the I, the C, the S, and everything. And then what you're going to do is you're going to find yourself in it. Kathleen, get the disc profile and send it out to every. Oh well, okay. All right. Well, there you go, Knolly. Appreciate it, man. So Knolly just put it in the chat. He quick with it. Love it.
That's one that I like. But there's another one, man, that I can't. It's 123test.com. 123test.com. But you have to. They have so many tests. It's a university that put this out, and they just make it available for free. Y'all know I like free stuff. And so 123test.com, but make sure you're clicking on the DISC personality profile link, because they have a bunch of different kinds of tests you can take there.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll wait a few minutes. You can copy the one that he has, or you can actually go to the one he's talking about, the 123test.com.
I just pasted the other one there too.
Okay, perfect. All right. Kathleen, send that out to everybody that's on here as well, so they'll have it.
Kathleen, the one that I sent takes you right to the disc version. Now, there's a lot of other tests that you might be interested in taking as well on that page.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Anybody else have anything else before we pop off? All right. Great session. Thank you, Michael. All right. Everybody enjoy their Friday. Let's go ahead and kill it. And
Let's send a shout out to the veterans. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for
Yes.
serving our country. I love you for the sacrifice that you made for us. And thank you. We're going to celebrate you today. We're going to celebrate. All right. And throughout the weekend. So thank you, veterans. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, man. I almost forgot. Can't forget about the veterans. Our freedoms are because what they, contribute towards this country. It ain't free.
Absolutely.
Freedom
Not at
isn't
all.
free.
That's right. That's right.
Love it.
All right. Well, I love you all for being here. Thank you so much for having me, James. It's been a big honor. I love paying it forward because I know it's going to come back to me tenfold, crushed down, shaken together, measured, overflowing. And I like that. So hopefully you could take some things that I've shared and utilize them in your business.
Absolutely, man. Love it.
Thanks, Knolly.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Thanks, Holly.
Yeah. Bye.
Everybody enjoy their Friday.
You too.
Okay, you
Thank
too, James.
Thank you.
Bye.